A tanker story of the DMZ. Rain. Relentless, cold. A curtain of water obscuring the world. Few know the stories of the DMZ between North and South Korea. And there are less than 100 people still living who have a first-hand knowledge of this tanker's story. One night on the DMZ, lost in classified documents until now. How many of you are aware of the US military lives lost to the DMZ since the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed on July 27, 1953? A tanker story. The DMZ, a scar of barbed wire and tension, lay shrouded. Inside, the M1 Abrams, a steel predator, idled on patrol. Its crew, ghosts in the green glow of instruments, watched, listened. Sergeant First Class Miller, the tank commander, scanned the thermal sights. Nothing but rain and shadows. He felt the familiar thrum of the engine, a heartbeat in the silence. For months, they had trained for this. Now, they waited. The Abrams, nicknamed Titanium Titan, was their world. Cramped, powerful, a technological marvel. Miller trusted this machine, trusted his crew. Corporal Lee, the gunner, young, eager, his finger resting lightly on the trigger of the main gun. Specialist Jones, the loader, a giant of a man, calm, methodical, a shell ready in his hand. And Private First Class Davis, the driver, barely old enough to shave, navigating the treacherous terrain with a veteran's touch. They were the tip of the spear, the first line of defense. A flicker on the thermal display. Movement. Miller's pulse quickened. He adjusted the magnification. Figures, small, dark, emerging from the tree line. Not our guys. He spoke into the comm, voice low, urgent.
Titanium Titan to base, we have multiple contacts bearing 315, moving fast.
The reply was instantaneous.
Confirmed, Titanium Titan, stand by.
Miller's eyes narrowed. The figures were closer now, fanning out, weapons glinting in the faint moonlight. North Korean Army, this was it.
Gunner, target those contacts, fire at will.
Lee didn't hesitate. The 120mm cannon roared, a thunderclap that shook the earth. The first target vanished in a burst of flame and smoke. Then another, and another. The night erupted in violence. Tracers arced through the air. Enemy RPGs streaked towards them. One slammed into Dynamo's thick armor, a glancing blow, shaking the tank but doing no real damage. Miller felt a surge of adrenaline. They were in the fight of their lives. The North Koreans throw their soldiers at the battle like there is an unending supply. There is no concern about losing dozens at a time. They moved with a deadly intent, using the terrain to their advantage. But they hadn't expected the firepower of the Abrams. Lee was a master main gunner, his aim deadly. Jones slammed round after round into the breach, the massive shells obliterating anything in their path. Davis, cool under pressure, maneuvered the tank with precision, keeping them one step ahead of the enemy.
Gunner, keep those rounds coming. Jones, stay sharp. Davis, maintain our position.
Miller barked orders, his voice calm amidst the chaos. He was the eye of the storm, coordinating the crew, directing their fire. He knew the terrain, knew the enemy's tactics. He had studied this moment 1,000 times in his mind. Now, it was all about instinct, training, and trust. He trusted his crew, trusted his tank. They were the Titanium Titan, and they would hold the line. Section 4. Hunter-Killer. The Abrams was a hunter in the night, its thermal sights giving it an unmatched advantage. The North Koreans, their night vision outmatched, were reduced to firing blindly into the darkness. Their RPGs, while dangerous, were no match for the Abrams' armor at this range. The tank's machine guns, controlled by Miller and Davis, spat a deadly hail of lead, cutting down any enemy foolish enough to expose themselves. The air filled with the acrid smell of cordite and the coppery tang of blood. The rain continued to fall, washing away the smoke and the blood, but not the horror. This was war, raw and brutal, a fight for survival. But through it all, Titanium Titan held firm, a beacon of defiance in the darkness. Section 5. Iron Resolve. Minutes stretched into an eternity. The initial wave of the attack was faltering, but Miller knew more would come. He could hear them in the distance, the rumble of trucks, the shouts of men. They were preparing for another assault. He checked on his crew. Lee, face pale but resolute. Jones, sweating, his movements mechanical. Davis, eyes wide but steady. They were more alive than ever before, alert, adrenaline juggernauts, ready for whatever was to come.
They're coming again, get ready.
He knew the North Korean army was the largest standing army in the world, with over 1 million military personnel. He did not know how many of them would come tonight. Now, the North Koreans were rushing to their death by the dozens. The Titanium Titan's crew had one thing the enemy didn't: the will to fight, the determination and pride to defend their way of life, their democratic partners, their freedom. They were American soldiers, and they would not yield. Section 6, A New Dawn. The sound of rotors thumping through the rain. Reinforcements, attack helicopters roared overhead, their gunships blazing, driving back what remained of the enemy. The North Koreans, their attack broken, melted back into the darkness. The fighting slowly subsided, replaced by the steady drone of the rain and the moans of the wounded. The North Koreans, yet again, have tested our resolve and lost. The first light of dawn painted the sky a pale gray. Miller climbed out of the hatch, his body aching, his ears ringing. He looked out over the battlefield, littered with the debris of war. How many North Koreans lost their lives this time? The rain had stopped, and a fragile peace had settled over the DMZ. Titanium Titan, scarred but undefeated, stood as a silent sentinel, a testament to the courage of its crew, a symbol of American might, a fortress of freedom. VeteranFocus, for entertainment only.